At long last, the Streets of Mos Eisley Vintage Collection playset has arrived. Was it worth the wait? Find out next.
Mos Eisley Spaceport. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Hey Star Wars fans, welcome back to another video from All Things Star Wars Considered. As always, I'm your host Doug, and today, after what seems like an eternity, the Streets of Mos Eisley Vintage Collection playset has arrived on my doorstep. Now, I had to reach out to Hasbro because they kept sending me notifications that it was shipping and nothing was happening. So, I got fed up and reached out to them, and maybe the squeaky wheel gets the grease, maybe it doesn't, maybe it was just a fluke, but in any event, it arrived on my doorstep. So we're going to take a look at that today. We're going to unbox it and review it and set it all up, and we're going to see if it's worth your time, energy, and money. So when we return, I'm going to be unboxing that, and let's see how that goes. Okay, let's get into it. Now, before we get started, I just want to apologize. I wanted to kind of review this thing ages ago when it first started to hit. I feel like I'm late to the party on this, but obviously there's not much you can do when the item doesn't arrive. I kept getting notifications from Hasbro that it was shipping. Finally, I had to reach out, and I guess the squeaky wheel gets the grease because a few days later it popped up on my doorstep. So this is the soonest I could kind of review it. Actually, I'm still in my work clothes. You can see my postal shirt. So, yeah, that just goes to show you how fast I wanted to get this thing open. So, let's get into it. So, of course, the vintage collection features that old school style retro packaging. So we have the Star Wars logo with the double racetrack piping around the outer edge of the box. We have the Luke and Leia Hildebrandt. We have up in the upper right hand corner, warning, choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years old. Obviously, they want you to be 4+. And there is a lot of small parts. There's guns for the Jawa. There's lids and all that stuff. So we definitely want to make sure that we keep this out of the hands of small children. In the lower left-hand corner, we have the Kenner logo. You know I love that. And in the upper left-hand corner, we have a Jawa figure included. Carded Jawa figure. And you guys know I'm a big Jawa guy, so I am certainly happy about that. Now let's kind of flip this down, and over here again we have the Star Wars logo with the Luke and Leia Hildebrandt, and it says additional playsets and figures, each sold separately, subject to availability. Now you can combine these, and we'll get into that a little bit more as we go along. Our first photo here shows the Jawa with a bunch of the accessories that are included in the box. We have a crate, some guns, the generator box, and this milk tank type of thing. And then as we slide down, now we're showing the set with a couple of different sets, because you can see you have this round dome-like thing, this round dome-like thing, this door. So they're showing a bunch of sets all kind of hooked together, and that's pretty cool, and it's very modular. And our final image shows the Jawa next to the TT-8L security droid. And I had to look that up. I could not, for the life of me, actually think of what it was actually called. But it's a security droid. And when we get into that, obviously that's a pretty cool feature. I'm pretty happy to see that and looking forward to seeing that. So now let's flip. Let's get to the back of the box. And you've seen enough of my unboxings and my reviews. You know that it's pretty much the same as the front. It gives you the small parts, but this time it does it in a different language. Of course, you have the Vintage Collection logo there. the Disney logo and the Hasbro logo, and the rest is pretty much the same with the exception of some small writing down here. Made in China. You don't want to know my feeling on that. Well, I don't know how that's going to work with all the tariffs, but we'll see. The far end of the box has the Star Wars logo with the Luke and Leia Hildebrandt, and then we have the Jawa conversing with the TT-8L security droid. I'm going to keep saying it so I never forget it. And we got this cool door and some stairs. Now let's get to the other end of the box. And it shows a couple of sets kind of put together. And when we get into this, you'll see that there's like like pegs on one side. There's like little holes on the other side. So you can kind of put this together in a variety of different ways. It's very modular, but you're going to have to buy multiple sets to do that, obviously. But it does give you the option to do that. And before we kind of terminate this, we'll just kind of look at the bottom. I wasn't going to show it, but then I realized that there was an actual photo of all that's included in the box. So it's showing you, included, you have this archway, this building front with the kind of the fake dome, because once we get into it, you'll see that's not completely full. It's just a kind of like a half dome. Then we have kind of like this fake wall. I don't really quite understand it. It looks like there's a window there, but you can't actually access from front to back because it's kind of closed off. Then we have some nice vents and some damage detail, but obviously once we get in this, you're going to realize that they didn't do any wash. I might do a wash, but I'm going to have to take a look at it first. And of course, it comes with this canister, it comes with a couple of crates, comes with this lamp post type thing, comes with a generator box, comes with the Jawa, and the Jawa figure will have 3 guns. And of course, it's a bunch of writing, small parts, warning, and then the rest is in a foreign language, or a variety of foreign languages, and then some other stuff in the Kenner logo. So I think we've spent enough time on the outside of this box. Without further ado, let's crack it open. Let's see what's inside. Okay, let's get into it. Now you know what I do, right? I already removed the tape, so we can just kind of pop this open. And right off the bat, there's your instructions. So let's see, we'll just kind of slide this out. I want to make sure I do this correctly. Yep, because I've done these a few times and screwed the whole thing up. So let's kind of be as careful as we can unboxing this thing. All right, let's get rid of the box. Okay, so we have the instructions, and let's kind of flip this open quickly. I don't want to go crazy with this because it makes the video drag on too long. So it basically just shows the archway, the building front with the sliding door, and then there's kind of this dummy wall, as I'm going to call it. And shows you how you can kind of put these together, and shows the little pegs. And the holes are in the far end, and then you can kind of pop that all together. And there's like stuff here, there's stuff there, so you can configure this in a variety of different ways. Then it shows you how you attach the security droid. It shows you how you operate the security droid from the back side of the building with this little control lever here. And then shows you this switch which will open and close the door. It shows you the 2 cargo boxes with removable lids, and of course the generator box with the removable lid as well. And then it just kind of shows you on the back the whole setup with 2 different configurations. See, you got that and you got that. So it's showing you a couple of different ways to set this up if you buy a couple of sets. And that's obviously why they're showing the 2 Jawas, because if you get 2 sets, you get 2 Jawas. And it shows this. But it also shows that if you have 2 sets, you can actually combine the archways back to back to make one giant size archway. So we'll get into that. But I think that's enough. We don't need to go any further with that. Obviously, let's kind of take a look at it. Here's your accessory bag. This has the tank, the security droid, and this little lamp post thingy. And then we have another bag with the crates in it. And then let's see, we have this, which is the stairs. And we're not going to bother with that just yet. And then let's remove this. This is the dummy wall, as I like to call it. And it's all taped up. And, oh, here's the action figure. So let's see. The Mos Eisley Jawa. Now, it's unpunched. It's a great looking figure. Obviously, this is basically an off-world Jawa that's been repurposed, repainted, different color cloth, robe, just to make it more Tatooine specific. But still, nevertheless, a great looking figure. And is that damaged? I don't know. Maybe I might buy a second set. Maybe this will be the one I'll open. But it doesn't look to be anything really over the top. And then the back, he is VC-342. Jawa Mos Eisley, Tatooine's lawless port, was a hive of scum and villainy for rogues, smugglers, and fugitives of all species, including Jawas, who comb the desert in search of discarded scrap and mechanicals to cobble together weaponry. Interesting. So there's your Jawa. Let's kind of pop him in the back. Now, let's kind of see what else we have here. We have this building front, and we have that. That's for the security droid. Let's flip that over. You have this. That locks into place when it's closed and locks into place when it's open. So that's nice. So let's kind of pop that over there. Let's kind of see what else this is the generator box. Okay. So that's kind of neat. Let's see if we can kind of peel him. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can, so I'm not dragging you guys along while I fumble and bumble here. So this is the one piece that's actually weathered. I've seen a couple of reviews, and this is the one piece that they actually put some washes on to give you this. Because look, if you look in the inside, you can see that's what color the plastic used to be, and then the outside's got this really nice wash. If they could have done that with the whole piece, that would have been really cool. So what do we have here? Let's discard that. And we have the archway. Now the archway looks great. It just needs some paint. So I think a little bit of weathering, and of course the backside is nothing. That's why they were suggesting if you bought two sets, you could attach them, back to back, and then you wouldn't have to look at this. You would get this just one giant archway. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm thinking the rest is just cardboard. So we're going to have to pull these stairs out. Like I said, they're kind of attached in there, and I'll pull them out. And when we return, I'll show this thing all put together. Let's see. I'll do the same thing with this. So you get this nice little vent detail on this, and a lot of cracks and damage in the walls, but there's no dirt. This thing needs some grime, so I think I'm going to weather this. You can't be afraid to kind of get these things a little dirty. Tatooine's a desert planet, so it needs a little bit of grime. So let's kind of shelve the rest of this, and when we return, I will have this all put together. So stick around for that. Okay, and here it is. Now, as I'm looking at it, it's just way too clean. We got all this cracks and damage here, and it needs some grime in those cracks, at the very least. I don't know how great I'm going to be at weathering, but I can't leave this like this. It's too clean. So I'm not going to go much further with this review, but I'm going to weather it, and then when we return, you guys can decide that if I overdid it, underdid it, didn't do a good job, did a great job. I don't know. We'll see. But before we kind of break, I just wanted to show you a couple of the features, and one of them obviously is this TT-8L security droid. It's got this little lever in the back, which I think is pretty cool, so you can kind of make this thing maneuver around. So maybe the Jawa comes up and he's like, I don't know. And I don't know this razor thing. I don't know. This thing keeps falling. I don't even know what it is. But, yeah. So we have that. And then we have the door, which the door is pretty cool. It opens and closes and it locks. So listen. No, is it? Well, yeah. Oh, there it is. There's the click. And then there's the click again. So it locks into place. So that'll be kind of cool to actually put R2 and 3PO behind with maybe some sand troopers at the door. So, and then maybe they walk off, and then the door opens, and then there's R2 and 3PO sitting there. So that's kind of neat. Now, I apologize for some of the things falling, like this canister and this. Maybe this is something that like I Velcro, or maybe just put one little dab of glue to hold it in place, because you stop moving it and everything falls over. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you the two features was obviously the door and then this security droid. So when we return, we will see how this thing looks with a little bit of dirt. Stick around for that. Okay, and here it is. This was really my first true test or attempt at weathering, and I don't know if I overdid it, but I love it compared to what it was. So even if I overdid it, I'm okay with it, because I'd rather have it too dirty than too clean. You know, it's possible that it could be this dirty on Tatooine, but it's impossible that it was that clean. So I think this worked. I started out a little bit on the safe side, doing some areas that it didn't really matter if I kind of overdid it. And then as I went along, I just got a little bit more bold. So I think this looks a lot better. You know, you'll tell me in the comment section if you think I overdid it, but it's definitely a lot grungier. So let's put some figures in this and see how it looks with a bunch of action figures. So stick around for that, okay? And here's your finished display. Just threw a bunch of odds and ends in this. You know, obviously we got R2 and 3PO behind the door. There's Sand Trooper just knocked. Nobody here. Let's move on to the next one. He starts to walk away, and then the door kind of slides open, and you can see R2 and 3PO behind there. This Jawa was having a conversation with this Sand Trooper. We've got one of those crazy special edition droids that from the 96 re-release of New Hope. You can see an R5-D4 in the background kind of rolling past. And we got a Ronto and a Jawa and a Dewback over here. So just a bunch of odds and ends just to kind of add to the display. What I have realized after doing this whole thing is that I do need to pick up another set and then configure it into, you know, a larger environment. And then once the cantina arrives, cobble that together with a couple of play sets, the front entrance of the cantina, and then just make this massive Tatooine diorama. So looking forward to that at the end of the year. But for right now, hope you enjoyed the Mos Eisley, Streets of Mos Eisley Vintage Collection playset. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one. Well, I hope you enjoyed the unboxing, review, and display of the Streets of Mos Eisley Vintage Collection playset. Obviously, you can see it's too clean, so we had to grunge it up. So I hope I didn't overdo it, but you know, I'm kind of a novice when it comes to weathering stuff, but I think it was definitely better. You know, nothing could be worse than that. It was way too clean. We needed that thing to look grungy, so I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to move on and start to wrap things up. Like to thank everybody for their continued support of my humble little YouTube channel. I have picked up a bunch of new subscribers, and for that, I am thankful. So if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to those that have already subscribed, obviously I appreciate you all as well. But I'm going to remind you, though, if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button so I can continue to bring you that valuable Star Wars content that we've all come to know and love. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps the channel as well. If you have a question, a comment, some input, maybe you want to weigh in on this playset, leave it in the comment section, and you know I'll get back to each and every one of you. Want to thank you all for watching. Remind you to have a great day, and we will see you on the next video. And as always, may the Force be with you. Take it away, Cregan.
There's an old man living cold and poor. Feels like there's nothing to give. There's a young boy crossing by his path, reflecting